All right. So number one, again, was commit to a program. Number two is staying in phase one, using that successful system tracker. Also, staying in phase one means finding times to work your business. We're in back to school season, right? We're in a lot of change right now. And so finding the time to work your business may mean that you and your spouse on Sunday get together and plan your week out. The kids have this, the kids have that, e-learning's here, right? Where you plan out your week in order to figure out when you can work your business. I encourage coaches to not use the wording work their business, but instead to own their business. And I think that when you have that approach that I own this business, I don't just work it, you'll find time to work your business. Does that make sense how I just said it? So when you own your business, you're more likely to find time to work it. But even if you can't work it like a sit down full power hour, going through that successful system tracker and finding those top business producing activities, doing those first, doing those in the cracks of time, first thing in the morning when you wake up, taking care of you, that's how you can continue to move your business forward. Owning your business, setting business hours or non-business hours. And then lastly with this, finding your 6 to 7. And what I mean by that is if 1 is couch potato and 10 is lock yourself in a room, chart tail with a bucket of water towards your goals, most coaches who are reaching their desired success, they've identified what 6 to 7 means for them, and that's where they live. However, there are months when we live at an 8, 9, 10. Months like this month, cup month, you might be at an 8, 9, 10, and there's nothing wrong with that. And next month we'll come back and we'll live at our 6, 7. So staying in phase one also means that there will be months that we go bigger, we go harder, we 2X, we 5X, we 10X maybe. And then we come back and we live at our 6 to 7. 3 characteristic or a tip from coaches who are reaching their desired success is this ideology of fast and strong, fast and strong, fast and strong. Now, fast and strong is still defined by you. You still get to define what fast means for you, but you cannot build momentum slowly. Momentum is built going fast and strong. And so fast and strong means that you are helping someone daily with something. Fast and strong means that they're going emerald weekly and they're teaching that weekly. Fast and strong means that they are helping to teach their coaches how to have just regular conversations with people, like normal conversations with people, because that's what we do. And with all this, their personal goals are all different, but most likely they will attain their personal goals by going emerald over and over again, by hitting Success Club monthly, and 5, then 10, then more, right? Depending on what your goals are. Retaining people, thus getting them continued results. And that's the volume component. And then they're duplicating. And that duplication comes by asking people to link arms and to do this with you and helping them see the vision of what's possible by you sharing your success, how you define it, not allowing society to define it for you. So my follow-up question would be, what is your goal? We just mentioned that we're coming out of our end of the year celebration. From now until the end of the year, what is it? And if you don't have it clearly defined, use this weekend to clearly define it. And then once you clearly define it, have that strategy clearly broken down. Use this weekend to make sure you have your strategy outlined. Now, here's a challenge for you. If you have set goals at the beginning of the year and you've already reached them, set a new goal from now through the end of the year. If you set goals at the beginning of the year that are unrealistic for you to think that you can attain, which I grew up in the household that if the actions are possible to match the goal and you're willing to have the actions match the goal, then you can do anything. But if you're feeling like it's unrealistic, then set a new goal, right? From now to the end of the year. And in my opinion, after Doug's conversation where he's going to go in detail about the compensation plan in a second, that should be the first thing that you guys talk about. What is the goal from now through the end of the year? What is the strategy? What exactly do we need to focus on every day in order to get you there? 4, get excited about the future of Beachbody. So coaches who are reaching their desired success, they brand themselves. So that's a tip. However, they bleed Beachbody blue, and they bleed Beachbody blue even though they're branding themselves because of all of the excitement, momentum that's happening. So talking about the product and program releases, and by the way, we just had an incredible launch last month. We have a launch happening this month, but guess what? You can relaunch programs over and over and over at any time you want. If you feel like launch months are the month where your business goes, relaunch it every single month. Relaunch a program every single month. Right? So get excited about that. Get excited about our nutrition programs. Get excited about how BOD Groups allows you and your new coaches and people who have no entrepreneurship, no network marketing experience to professionalize their business. Right? Get excited about our compensation plan, which is one of the easiest to understand and to maximize. They're finding things to be excited about. Be excited about the recognition program, about the lead program, which is unique to Beachbody. They're finding ways to be excited, finding things to be excited about with the future of Beachbody. And that excitement is what's attractive. That excitement is what allows them to brand themselves. So they're branding themselves, they're branding their team, or excuse me, their groups, but they are excited about the future of Beachbody. And then lastly, they're bold, they're brave, and they're relentless, meaning they don't have if in 1 year I don't reach this, I'm quitting. They don't have a way out. They refuse to quit. And this is I feel like sometimes people look at people who have reached a certain level and they're like, oh, they're fearless. And so I want you to know that they actually may be fearful, but they do the things that they identify they need to do regardless. And it's almost like they use their team when they're fearful, but they use fear as a tailwind as opposed to a headwind. Like they take it head on. They know that I'm scared. I'm so scared. It makes my stomach hurt to even say it out loud, but I'm doing it anyway. Like those are the characteristics of these people who are reaching their desired success. And they share regardless of being perfect or the house being clean or the kids being clothed. And they're also not necessarily trying to save the world. They're starting with them. They're starting with friends or family. They're starting with asking to link arms with the team that you're currently on. And because of that, that's how the world ends up being impacted. And that's how all the starfish get saved. But to end this, and I'll take some questions before we pass it, I started this by saying that events like this really changes people's businesses. And so hopefully you're really leaning on your team, leaning on this group of people to get exactly what you need to get in order to reach your next level of success. And I also liken it to the idea, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro last year, and it was really cool because I'm a collegiate athlete. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And on day 6 of 6, I'm climbing down the mountain and I see this incredible team. Let me show you guys the picture. Oh, do you mind allowing me to share my screen? Sorry. So I'll preface it. So, we're day 6 and I'm coming like I'm on a high. If there's a cloud 10, I'm on cloud 10 coming down this mountain. And I'm just like, I can't believe I just did this. The summit night was literally the hardest thing I've ever done. In the first 45 minutes, my water was frozen, my toes, I had on layers upon layers upon layers. I mean, it was just everything that you can imagine. Okay. Thank you. Yep. And I'm coming down and I see this team. And I frantically pull out my phone so I can take a picture because as soon as I saw them, 1, I was inspired, but 2, it reminded me of what we do and of events like this and what you guys are going to do by really making the most out of your time together. But let me explain what's going on. So there's a team of people, which, by the way, you cannot climb the tallest freestanding mountain without a team. I went as a solo climber, and you literally cannot climb the mountain without a team. And I think that is something to be said in itself. That's probably a whole nother topic that we can talk about. But this team, there's a guy and a girl in the front, and they have on waist contraption belts, and they have hiking sticks, and they are digging deep. and they are literally pulling their friend up Mount Kilimanjaro. Their friend, who has on the neon green hat, he is willing himself up the mountain with his arms, and there's someone else carrying the wheelchair behind him. But to me, this was like your team, right? Because the only thing I know about this team outside of they were from Germany is that they all had individual goals to climb the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. And because they came together as a team, the team was able to make it to the top, whereas their friend, maybe with a different team, but their friend for sure would not have been able to make it to the top of the mountain without a team, period. And so when I think about events like this, I think about you setting your own individual goals to climb to the top of your proverbial mountain, and linking arms with your team and digging deep together, figuring out the strategy, figuring out how to hold each other accountable, breaking things down and reverse engineering them, leaning in when life happens and making it to the top of your mountain. So y'all, that's it. You know, I know that we're about to start talking about the compensation plan, which that's probably one of the biggest shifts that I see in coaches when they really begin to understand that compensation plan. That's when light bulbs go off. That's when their coaches begin to understand it. And that's when more lives begin to be impacted. So those 5 tips or characteristics, just one last time before we go into the compensation plan: commit to a program. And I'm talking about commit all out with the nutrition program, and not just for yourself. I'm talking about use your social media, commit to us that you're doing it. Show us what you're doing. Show us why you're doing it. Show us how you're stronger because you're doing it. 2, stay in phase 1. Even as a 15-star diamond, you never spend less than 50% of your time building your business. That means that at 15-star, we're still doing 50% of the stuff that we did on day 1 when we had no team. 50% of our day is the stuff that we were doing on day 1, even as a 15-star. So we're staying in phase 1 and using that successful system tracker. We're going fast and strong. You get to define what that means for you, but we have to build momentum, and the only way we can do it is by going fast and strong. And so use this month to do that. Use this cup month, use this event to build the momentum and to create the momentum to truly go reach those goals that you set for yourself. And that means that you have to know what your goal is too. And that was the challenge that I gave you. Get excited about Beachbody and the future of Beachbody while you brand yourself. And lastly, be bold and be brave and use your team. So Doug is here. I'm going to pass it over to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doug, are you here? Do you guys have questions for me before Doug takes over?
I hadn't heard that story before about how you came into Beachbody. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Good. I don't tell it very often. I need to do better. I try. Megan has encouraged us to share our stories as often as possible. And so I'm going to try to do a little bit better of sharing my story. All right, Doug Moss is our Vice President of Coach Development. So he actually works with all the 15-star diamonds, and he has just an incredible mind. And he's going to talk a little bit more about the compensation plan, because like I said, once people understand this compensation plan, that's when we really begin to see shifts in businesses. So without further ado, Doug.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey guys, excited to be here. Sorry I'm not in St. George with you. That's anyway, any excuse to come to St. George is always a good thing. I will tell you, I don't know if Keyshawn mentioned, I actually did go to Carl and said, hey, there's a retreat. It's close. I'm just going to run down. He kind of felt, hey, with canceling leadership and all the things, it may not be good for corporate to be in a photo with 20 coaches and no masks on and all the things. So for now, we're just holding tight, and then we'll hopefully soon be able to loosen that up a little bit. But really sad I'm not there. I would have come anyway, but anyway, he's Carl, and I thought I should ask just to cover our bases and all the things. Obviously I could listen to Keyshawn all day and just let her go, and my heart rate gets up and I get all giddy, and so With me, it'll be much more, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, you've got Brigitte in the room. And so if you want to talk comp plan tonight at dinner, just focus on her and have her teach you all the things. So it hasn't changed. It's the same comp plan it's always been. And Brigitte's sitting right there. I can see her. And she can certainly teach you all the things about the compensation plan. I'll just share a couple of things, and then I think we'll go straight into a Q&A. When you talk about the comp plan, I just want you to understand, Keyshawn kind of mentioned, that it's simple. Well, our comp plan is simple. Like I've worked for other network marketing companies, and I can tell you they are very complicated. Beachbody's is really cool because it starts really simple. Now, as you go further into the business, it becomes more and more complicated, okay? And I will tell you, I've read the book, the 10,000 hours and all the things. I feel like I've got my 10,000 hours in our comp plan to where as it gets complicated, working with superstars, I can tell you, I've been on the call placing, Micah Folsom's 8th business center, right? And I've been on with Melissa McAllister trying to place her 9th business center. And I can tell you, in order to make that decision, you have to know what you're looking at. You have to know how to look at the business in order to decide what exactly you're going to do in that scenario. Interestingly enough, though, as you guys are building the business, in the beginning, it isn't complicated. Like, as a new coach, I have a left leg and a right leg, and I'm going to sponsor and place them over here, over there, over here, over there. Over the course of time, something happens. Duplication starts to kick in. My upline starts to place on one side or the other, and volume starts to be created. So we need you to understand that eventually you're going to have strong leg volume and you're going to have weak leg volume. And as a coach, what we do is, and as a company, we kind of trick you. Like we launched the Road to Elite with Team Builder, Team Leader. You're going to notice that in there, what we do is we sneak in, hey, you have a weak leg volume requirement. Guys, the only reason we do that is so you'll learn the comp plan. So you'll pay attention to the volume you have on each leg, right? If you're building for Team Builder as a diamond coach, you need to get 1,000 week leg volume over the course of any consecutive 5 weeks, which means you have to have 200 volume on a weak leg, which means you're cycling at least 2 times, right? Generally speaking. But I just need you to understand that that's how simple this begins. Now, as you start to build and as you start to set, these bigger goals Keyshawn's talking about, I can tell you, you have to learn more, right? You are the CEO of your business. Like when I meet with a superstar, I don't tell them what to do. I show them kind of what I see, and then we talk about it, and then they make the decision on how they're going to approach it. You guys are exactly the same. It's your business. It's your goals. You get to decide what you're going to do with it. You get to decide how many hours a day, how many hours a week, what you're going to do with this business. But it's up to you, right? It isn't something I'm going to give you. Scottie's not going to hand you your goals at the end of this. You've got to make the decision what you're going to do coming out of this retreat, what you're going to do in 2020, what's your plan for 2021. And it's really up to you what you're going to do, okay? I'm going to tell you, yesterday I reached out, I was talking to Micah Folsom, and Micah and I were going back and forth. Again, she's placing a business center, and we kind of got going into this. And I said to her, I said, Micah, I need to have you do a training on how to build sustained high-level income. Like I just want to, that leaders need to understand kind of the Micah Folsom's brain on how she approaches this. And it was interesting because the more we got talking about it, she's like, Doug, and if you don't know, Micah did a training like 4 years ago at Leadership, and the title was #DoYourCrap. And what she talked about is that there's certainly a funnel of inviting and getting people into challenge groups, helping them get results, and then at some point you get a good solid coach. She talks about that there's a funnel before that funnel, and it's all your social media, it's all your conversations, all the people you're talking to, what you're posting, all those things happen before you get anyone to buy a challenge pack. And Micah's point was, if you're not doing that, you can't do this, right? You've got to do the front end of the funnel. Like Keyshawn said, staying in phase 1. Guys, phase one determines your business, right? Like Micah training on it, it's like, man, if there isn't new people coming in, I don't know what to train, right? She talked about how it just doesn't matter if, like, I can't teach you to grow week leg volume if you're not recruiting people into the business. Now, a couple of things. I travel around, I meet with a lot of coaches. And when I meet with coaches, I pay attention to numbers, right? And we have coaches in the network that'll sign 30 coaches and not find a diamond, right? And we have coaches in the network that sign 4 and they find a diamond. And it's like, what the heck is the difference between these two people? And it's a lot of it is in presentation, the way they approach the business, whether or not there is a business portion of their social media, but there's a lot of things happening. I would tell you that the average is about 10, meaning 1 in 8, 1 in 10. If you're going to sign 10 coaches, odds are one of them will do some Success Club activity headed towards some level of leadership. And if you're a 1 in 10 coach, right, and I'm just going to put that out there as an example. You might be a little more, you might be a little less, but if we just say you're 1 in 10, when I do a one-on-one and I understand that, hey, about 1 in 10, and if someone needs to get to 2-star and they need to get 2 diamonds, well, then they got to sign 20 coaches to find the 2. Where the problem lies is if you know that you're a 1 in 10 coach and you're signing 1 coach a month, dude, it's just math. That means you're going to find a builder 1 every 10 months. And I think sometimes coaches go, oh, wow, like I didn't put that together. If you're going to sign 2 coaches a month, you're going to find somebody 1 every 5 months. If you do 5 coaches a month, 1 every other month, 10 coaches a month, 1 a month. And I just think that you have to understand that, again, if you set a big goal, then, man, if you meet with me, it's like I just break it into a math problem and say, okay, well, if you need to build 5 diamonds, we got to get 50 coaches. How are we going to get 50 coaches to get to the 5 diamonds? And it's just, whether or not, whatever the time frame is that you want to accomplish that goal, I'm just going to break it down and say, man, that equals 5 coaches a month. You have 10 months to reach the goal. That's what we're headed towards. But wait a minute. We got to get those 50 coaches to find those 5 diamonds, and they got to have time to get to diamond. So, man, we actually have to do it in 6 months or 7 months. And so you can see that based on the destination or based on the goal, it's going to determine the monthly activity or the monthly drive that you have to put into phase one. Again, based on your goals, right? If your goal is to make $100 a month or $100 a week at Beachbody, man, I can show you exactly how the math works to get you there. And then guess what? You can put the math together to know how many coaches you're going to have to recruit to complete that. So it is a function of understanding just enough about the compensation plan in order for you to reach your goals. Okay. Well, I'm going to teach you just a couple of things because I think it's important that you as coaches understand these things. So number one is you as a diamond or above coach, you start to get into the compensation plan where you've got to understand what you're doing. Okay. And when I do a one-on-one, and I don't care what rank you are, I'm trying to help you answer 3 questions every time. The first question is sponsored by who? Who are you going to sponsor it by? And if you only have your business center, then that's your answer. It's sponsored by me. If I'm a 2-star, I've got me and I've got my second business center. If my spouse is a coach and we work together building this business, well, then the 2 of us combined can make the decision whether or not it's sponsored by me, his business center, or by my second business center. So sponsored by who is important. Generally, in the beginning, it's you. I'm going to sponsor it by me. The next question is placed where? Well, if I'm a new coach, it's either on my left leg or my right leg, right? If my spouse is a coach, well, man, that brings in his left leg and his right leg. And I just need to know enough information to make the decision as to sponsored by who, I'm sponsored by me, placed where? Is it the bottom of my right leg, the bottom of my left leg? My left leg happens to be his left leg and his right leg. So now I've got 3 spots I could place a coach that are meaningful to me and my household. Okay. And so those are starting to get your brain to kind of understand that the placement of volume matters. Okay. And then my third question is why? Why are you doing that? Why are you sponsoring it by you? And why are you placing it in that spot? If you can't answer that question, then get on the phone with Brigitte and Scottie and figure it out, because you need to know that. Because if you're going to set a goal for whatever your goal is, I want to make sure that you're doing the work that gets you to the goal, right? And if you're just sponsoring everybody on your left leg, and man, maybe it happens to be your strong leg, and your goal is to make $50 a week, I can't get you there if we're going to place incorrectly. If you make a strong leg stronger, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't get you to cycle more if you're growing a strong leg. You know, right? And so there's just some basic fundamental things that you guys as coaches have to wrap your brains around. I will tell you this. When I do a one-on-one, coaches say all the time, I always ask, what's your goal? And the answer is, I want to get to elite. I want to get to team builder. I want to get team leader. I want to make $100 a week. I want to make $1,000 a week. There's always something. But most of the time, the goals coaches set are based around some form of income. I want to make $500 a week. I want to make $500 a month, whatever it is, okay? If your goal is income with Beachbody's compensation plan, I just want you to understand there's 3 things that matter, okay? The first one is volume and the placement of volume, okay? You have to start to learn what is volume and how does volume react based on your sponsorship activity, based on your coach's sponsorship activity, and based on potentially your upline sponsorship activity. So volume matters, and you need to learn just a little bit. I'm not trying to go crazy, but you got to learn a little bit about volume. The second thing you have to learn in order to make income as a Beachbody coach is you have to understand 2-star. 2-star specifically is a rank, okay? Because if you're not yet a 2-star, that's your goal. I'm just telling you right now. Because at 2-star, you get another business center and you get a bonus, okay? The bonus is meaningful and the business center is impactful. It's important. You have to understand when you get a second business center, whether you build it or not, you're going to place volume underneath it and build volume underneath another you that pays your household more income. And so the reason I point out 2-star is because it always matters. 2-star always matters. Whether or not you're a diamond, an emerald, a ruby, or a 1-star, 2-star you got to get to. But get this, I'm a 10-star. Guess what? 2-star still matters. Where? Well, right now it matters in my 3rd because my 3rd is my last business center and it's a 1-star. So I'm not necessarily building it to 2-star, but I'm sure as heck paying attention to it to understand whether or not I should, okay? And so you have to understand, in this business, we understand our volume and then we focus on 2-star just to be aware of it, okay? The third thing you've got to pay attention to is bonus. There's a bonus at 2-star, there's a bonus at 5-star, there's a bonus at 10-star, and there's a bonus at 15-star, okay? Why does bonus matter? Well, it matters when it matters, okay? And what that means is if you look at the business and you're a 9-star diamond and you've got 4 diamonds on one side and 5 diamonds on the other, and you're a 9-star for a long time, I'm just going to tell you, and you're building for volume, that might be a mistake because that next diamond, that 5th diamond on that other side that would make you 10-star, is worth literally a 10-star bonus, which is averaging around $15,000 a quarter. So that means that 10th diamond is literally a huge jump in your income, okay? So now, what did I just say? There's 3 things that matter in building income. The first one is volume, the second one is 2-star, and the third one is the bonuses, 2-star, 5, 10, and 15. Now, coaches will say to me, Doug, I'm building for volume. And I'm like, awesome, fantastic. You should build for volume when you should. I mean, there's always a caveat because sometimes you shouldn't build for volume. And there are times when if you're close to a bonus, sometimes that bonus outweighs volume, okay? And I just want you to understand that, man, it's so cool that early on in your business, the answer is, guess what? I want to pay attention to my volume so I know what I'm placing for. I want to build to 2-star because I want the bonus and I want the second business center. And then I'm going to start paying attention to what is the 5-star bonus look like? What is the 10-star? How do I get there? Okay. Again, simple. Let me cover the comp plan very quickly because I love Beachbody's comp plan. There's 4 ways you get paid as a coach. The first one is bonuses and commissions. You sell a product, you get a commission. Sell a challenge pack, get a challenge pack bonus. Sell Energize to your neighbor, you get a commission on it. The second way you get paid is team cycle bonuses, okay? That's the volume. That's the residual. That's the core of the entire comp plan is team cycle bonuses. If you have not Googled Beachbody compensation plan highlights document, go do it, find that PDF and print it. It's a 1-page document that'll explain exactly how you get paid as a coach. It's very simple, it's not cumbersome, and it's something you should have as a coach that's building right next to your computer or wherever you work so you can see that document. Okay, first one, bonuses and commissions. Second one is team cycle bonus. Third one is team cycle matching bonus, which just means we're now incentivizing you to help your team grow. Okay, the matching bonus at Ruby, you get 5% of whatever your PS coach's team cycle bonus is. Diamond or above, you get 10% of whatever they're getting in team cycle. So if I've got a personally sponsored coach that's getting $300 in team cycle a week, I get $30. If they're getting 600, I get 60. If they're getting 6,000, I get 600. So I get, as a diamond or higher, I get 10% of whatever their team cycles are. Okay. The fourth way you get paid is the Star Diamond Leadership pools. What that is the company takes 100% of the team volume every quarter, every 90 days, and we take 2% of it and we pull it out and we convert it into dollars. And we say, okay, here it is. There's this kitty of money that is available for coaches. We divide it into 4 equal pieces and we say, all right, everyone who qualifies for 2-star, you're going to split this one. Everyone who qualifies at 5-star splits this one. 10 stars get this, 15 stars get this one. Obviously, there's less 15 stars than there are 2 stars. So 2 stars, it just spreads out further. 15 stars, it spreads out fewer. So that's why the 15-star bonus is so much higher than the 2-star bonus. Okay? So that's the comp plan, guys. It's simple. But I think that as you become the CEO of your business and you really start to pay attention to what you're doing, why you're doing it, you know, start to learn a little bit about weak leg volume and placement of volume. You know, seriously, you know, this is a great business. And right now is a great time to be a coach. Like I can't, like we're getting numbers. We're finishing July. I don't know if you know this. May was like the best month we've had since, you know, 2016. Well, July just beat May and it beat it significantly. Like the number of enrollers, you know, we're getting back, you know, we're in the high, well, I'll just tell you, we're just over 37,000 enrollers right now at Beachbody. We had over 13,000 coaches hit Success Club. Like things are really good right now to be a Beachbody coach. MBF, unbelievable. You know, we're out of stock. Guys, you guys sold 5 times more MBF than we had projected, and we had projected high. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. You know, we had one statistic that came in that, you know, when we had launched Morning Meltdown 100, it was the largest launch we had had. By 10 a.m., we had sold 17,000 units of MBF, of MM100. Well, I can tell you that when we launched Muscle Burns Fat at 10 a.m., we pulled a report and we were at 49,000. So it was like off the charts. And so stock, we were like, oh my gosh, like what the freak? Like we have people working all night long trying to get bod ropes, trying to get all the things. And we appreciate you guys understanding. I mean, we're doing everything. I just came from an executive meeting where they're just talking about shipping and products and inventory. And, you know, it's unbelievable what's happening in the network. You know, they actually made a comment like, well, you know, we're heading into the slower season of the year and, you know, possibly seasonality is going to help us catch up. And I'm the one who said, well, wait a minute, you guys, you just laid out this summit announcement track that like, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm telling you that August is Team Cup, September, October, November, December, we have a launch every month going into the end of the year. So I don't know when I don't know if it's going to slow down. And it was just like incredible that what you guys are accomplishing as coaches. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, listen, you're on one of the best teams in the entire network. You've certainly got some of the best brains in the network in that house with you. Absorb it. Man, Scottie with social media. I can't tell you. Anyway, it's funny. 2 days ago, I'm searching for, what did I search? I searched for, I know I searched Beachbody Success Club System. First thing that shows up, Scottie Hobbs, Scottie Hobbs, Scottie Hobbs. And I'm like, okay, 4 vital behaviors, Scottie Hobbs, Scottie Hobbs, Scottie Hobbs. So listen to that guy when it comes to social media, do whatever he says. When you want to make money, turn to Brigida, do everything she says. When you want to get momentum currently today, talk to Beth and run with her. Like, I'm just telling you, you're lined up. You're going to have the right people at dinner tonight. Like, dude, like, you should be able to accomplish whatever you want coming out of this group. I did hear, there was a quote I saw today I thought was cool. It says, today is the beginning of whatever you want. So I just think it's time, dude, set the goal, go get it done. I just think that you guys are set up for it. So I'll stop talking. Scottie, what do you want?
Anybody have any questions? That was really awesome, Doug. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So we'll get off the phone and then just put Brigida in a chair right where this TV is, and all of you pepper her with all the complex questions.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for your time. And we'll see what we're learning, and we'll come up with a game plan to come out of here.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you for having us then. Bye.
If you need anything, reach out.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, we'll see you guys. Bye.
Today is the beginning of
Sorry guys, I got to go to work.